predictable.
In a world where action movies keep trying to outdo each other with bigger explosions and more impossible heroes, The Killer's Game arrives with a simple but entertaining question: what happens when the world's deadliest assassin accidentally puts a bounty on his own head? The story follows Joe Flood, played by Dave Bautista, a legendary hitman who has spent years eliminating targets across the globe. Joe is feared by criminals, respected by fellow assassins, and known for completing jobs that nobody else can handle. Despite living in a violent world, he follows his own code and tries to stay emotionally detached from the people around him. Everything changes when Joe meets Maze, played by Sofia Boutella. Unlike the dangerous figures Joe usually encounters, Maze brings something peaceful into his life. Their relationship slowly grows, and for the first time, Joe begins imagining a future that doesn't involve contracts, bloodshed, and constant danger. But just as life starts looking brighter, Joe receives devastating news. Doctors tell him that he has a terminal illness and only a short time left to live. The diagnosis completely destroys him. Joe has spent years surviving impossible situations, but now he faces an enemy he can't fight. Believing his death is inevitable, he makes a desperate decision. Instead of waiting to die slowly, Joe places a contract on himself. In the assassin world, that means every killer available suddenly has permission to hunt him down. Joe believes that by arranging his own death, he can leave money behind and protect the woman he loves from watching him suffer. The problem: the diagnosis was wrong. Before Joe can cancel the contract, dozens of professional killers have already accepted the job. Suddenly, the hunter becomes the hunted. From this point forward, the movie transforms into a non-stop survival adventure. Assassins begin appearing from every direction. Some are highly trained martial artists. Others rely on brute force. Some use creative weapons, while others simply enjoy the thrill of the chase. Every new location becomes a battlefield. One of the movie's biggest strengths is how it turns every assassin into a memorable character. Instead of faceless enemies, many of them have unique personalities, fighting styles, and strange habits. This gives the action scenes variety and prevents the film from feeling repetitive. Critics and viewers frequently highlighted the colorful roster of assassins as one of the movie's most entertaining elements. Sounds of Cinema +1. Of course, the real attraction is watching Bautista handle the chaos. Unlike many action stars who rely on speed and acrobatics, Bautista's fighting style feels powerful and brutal. Every punch looks painful. Every collision feels heavy. The film understands his strengths and builds action scenes around his physical presence rather than trying to turn him into a typical martial arts hero. Several reviewers noted that the movie uses Bautista's combination of comedy and physicality effectively. Flickering myth +1. As the attacks continue, Joe discovers that surviving isn't enough. He also has to protect Maze, who becomes caught in the middle of the growing war. What began as a personal mistake now threatens everyone around him. This creates the movie's central emotional conflict. Can Joe escape a life he spent years building? Can a man who earned his reputation through violence find something better? Or is his past simply too dangerous to leave behind? Director J. Perry, known for his stunt background, clearly understands how to stage action. Rather than relying entirely on computer-generated effects, many fights focus on practical stunt work, close combat, and physical choreography. The movie constantly moves forward, rarely slowing down for long stretches of exposition. The action elite +1. However, the film isn't without flaws. Some critics argued that while the concept is fantastic, the story never fully reaches its potential. Several reviewers felt that many of the assassins appear briefly before being eliminated, preventing deeper character development. Others believed the romance between Joe and Maze deserved more screen time. Sounds of cinema +1. Another common criticism involved the plot twist itself. Many viewers felt the trailers revealed too much of the movie's central premise before release, reducing the impact of the story's biggest surprise. Discussions online frequently mentioned that the marketing gave away key moments that would have worked better as discoveries inside the film. Reddit. Despite these issues, the movie understands exactly what kind of experience it wants to deliver. It doesn't aim to be a deep psychological thriller. It doesn't try to reinvent the action genre. Instead, it focuses on providing entertaining fights, charismatic performers, dark humor, and a fast pace. For audiences looking for a fun action comedy, that approach works surprisingly well. Many viewers described it as an enjoyable popcorn movie that never takes itself too seriously. Movie Reviews 101+2. The supporting cast also helps keep things lively. Actors like Scott Adkins, Pom Klementieff, Terry Crews, and Ben Kingsley bring energy to the film's growing collection of allies and enemies. Their appearances ensure that every new encounter feels different from the last. Wikipedia +1. One thing that stands out is the chemistry between Bautista and Batella. While the script doesn't always give them enough emotional material, their performances make the relationship believable. Viewers understand why Joe is willing to sacrifice everything for Maze, and that emotional foundation gives the action scenes greater stakes. Sounds of cinema +1. Visually, the movie embraces a colorful, almost comic book style. Assassins appear with exaggerated personalities, dramatic entrances, and distinctive looks. The result sometimes feels like a mix between a classic action film and a dark comedy. By the time the final act arrives, the story becomes a massive showdown involving multiple killers, betrayals, and increasingly ridiculous situations. The film fully embraces its over-the-top nature, delivering exactly the kind of explosive finale audiences expect from a movie about dozens of assassins competing for the same target. In the end, The Killer's Game isn't a genre-defining masterpiece, but it doesn't need to be. It's a straightforward action comedy built around a clever premise, a likable lead performance, and plenty of chaotic fight sequences. The movie succeeds whenever it focuses on its strongest idea, a professional killer desperately trying to survive the deadly game that he started himself. For fans of fast-paced action movies, outrageous assassin stories, and Dave Bautista's unique mix of toughness and humor, this is an entertaining ride that delivers enough action and laughs to keep audiences engaged from beginning to end. Movie Reviews 101+2.